Hello everyone and welcome back to HITC Sport. I hope you're all having a fantastic day. Today we're going to be having a look at the Premier League table and predicting what it's going to be like in 10 years time. So basically I've pulled out my crystal ball here at HITC Sports and basically I've been able somehow to see into the future and tell you exactly today the reason why every single team in the Premiership in 10 years time is in the position they're in. So let's crack straight into it. In at 20th, I've gone for Nottingham Forest. I know, bit of a random one, but they are currently third in the Championship and they've been slowly climbing and building over the last couple of seasons. They've got a brilliant sized fan base, they've got a decent few youngsters coming up and they're actually third at the moment of recording in the Championship. I just think Notts are one of them teams that were a giant of the past and I'd love to see it if they're back in the Prem at any point, especially maybe this season, but in 10 years time, I just think they're a good team to buy. If I had, a big pot of gold and I was able to trade it in and get loads of millions and billions for buying football clubs, they'd be a team I'd buy. They're just a fun team. They're an old sleeping giant. It'd be nice to wake them back up and they've got a brilliant sized fan base. So, with merchandise sales and ticket sales and bits and pieces like that, yeah, why not? Notts 20th. In at 19th, we have Fulham. Typical yo-yo club Fulham, up and down, up and down, up and down. Will it ever change? In 10 years time, I'm predicting not. I think Fulham are gonna go up, stay up for a while. They'll have a good few seasons, maybe they might even stay in the Prem for a couple of seasons. But around 2032, when this league is taking place, for me, they'll be yo-yoing again. 18th, we have Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace have struggled for years. I know they've got Vieira now, they're doing very good, but Vieira is going to do well at Palace. He's going to get a bigger job and he's going to move, and I think what we're going to see is we are going to see Palace become a yo-yo club, like your Fulhams, like your Norwich, like your Watfords. They'll be up and down, up and down, up and down consistently. I think Palace have just threatened relegation for too long and it's going to happen, so why not in 10 years time? 17th, we come in with Brentford. I think Brentford will stay a Prem club for quite a while. I like the way the club's ran. I like how they, use a lot of research, stats and statistics when buying and signing players. And I think they're just going to moneyball their way into Prem. They haven't really got any notable players that will probably still be there in 10 years. It's sort of hard to tell with them sort of predictions in 10 years time what player's going to be there and vice versa. It's kind of tough. But for me, I see Brentford staying up and doing well. Good club structure, good system when it comes to signing players, and then they sell their players on for profit. So why not? Brentford, 17th. 16th, I've gone for Leicester City. I think Leicester are on a bit of a decline since they came up and won the league in 2016. It's easy to tell from their league positioning. I do think Rodgers will stay for now, but in 10 years time, I just don't know. I just don't see Leicester remaining to be where they are or where they have been. It was one of the most incredible stories in football history. I'll never forget it. It was a beautiful, beautiful moment. But for me, I just don't see Leicester staying, where they are. I just don't know. I just don't think the club structure's great. Their signings haven't been great. It's hard to tell for 10 years, but for me, 16th Leicester. This one's a bit crazy. Nobody, go mad here, but I've got Hull City at 15th. This is a wild card, I know. So don't hate me, but I just wanted to go for a lower end of the Championship team. And also, to get Alfie over at HIT7 to notice me. But Hull, they came up, they did alright in the Prem when they were there, and why wouldn't they come back? I don't know. I want a few more Championship teams represented here, so Hull City, you're up. Love you, Alfie. 14th, we have Norwich. I know Norwich are struggling right now, yes, but they've got some good young talent. Max Aarons, to name one, he's only 20 years old, or 22, sorry, apologies. But you've got Adam Ider, who I think is going to be a fantastic striker in years to come, and he hasn't had a shot yet, Irish striker, he's only 20. They've just got quite a good young squad, and I think they've got a decent club structure. They come up, and they're not the worst. They've came up, they've stayed in the Prem seasons before, but I think just in 10 years time, I don't know, they're a good investment club as well. I just see Norwich, getting out of that yo-yo in and starting to plateau maybe around 14th, 15th place. So Norwich, 14th. 13th, we have Aston Villa. This is a very, very tough one because Aston Villa, back between 2007 to 2010, they used to be a 6th place club. I think they were 6th place 3 seasons in a row, which is mad when you see the absolute journey and adventure they've been on recently. But for me, I just think they're Premier League quality. They've been up, they've been down. They've got a decent amount of money at the club as well. At the moment, they've got a good amount of young talent. Steven Gerrard's an exciting young coach. We might see him go sort of 10th, to 7th or 8th next season, but in 10 years time I'm just going to go for a safe bet again, and Aston Villa 13th, lucky number 13, can't go wrong. 12th, Southampton. I don't know with Southampton. They're just, I don't see them going down, and I don't see them really doing really well. So 12th, I don't know. 11th, we have Leeds. Now, a couple of weeks ago, people would have saying that Leeds are finished, Leeds are done, Leeds are going down. Oh my God, chaos, Leeds are gone again. No, they're going to stay up by the looks of it. They're least likely to go down, them and Villa. It looks like it's between Everton and Burnley that are going to go down at the moment, at time of recording. But Leeds, for me, deserve to be a top 10 club. I think they're good. They've got a great sized fan base. They play exciting football. Well, they did under Bielsa, and still playing good football under Marsh, don't get me wrong. They bring up some exciting youngsters. They seem to make good purchases at times. Some are a bit hit or miss, but some are absolutely brilliant. So for me, I just think Leeds are a really, really good club, kind of like Forest to buy. They've got, you know, historic value. They have a huge fan base, and yeah, they just seem like a good buy. And with more and more money coming into football, and with more and more clubs being bought by bigger owners, I think Leeds are just one of them teams that may be snapped up, you know, and we might see them, you know, go and have a good couple of runs. But in 10 years time, I think, you know, they could still be going up on a run, or they could be coming off one. So for me, 11th in 2032, Leeds. Just as we get to 10th place, I'd like you all ever so much to hit that big red, beautiful, glorious subscribe button. Please hit it, it would make me very happy. Make sure you leave a big, huge, stinking like, and please hit the bell so you know when I upload next, you know when Nori the Dutch guy uploads next, you know when HITC football uploads next. So anyway, cracking back in to 10th with Portugal. Oh, sorry, did I say Portugal? I meant Wolves. Sorry, apologies. Wolves for me will come 10th in about 10 years' time. They're a very, very well-established Premier League team, and I just don't see anything going wrong with them, with their amazing links to George Mendes, who's just pumping Portugal star through the team. So I just can't really sort of see them slipping from where they are. I think some seasons they'll have a bad one and finish 14th to 15th. Some other seasons I think they might get as high as 5th or 6th. But for me, in 10 years' time, mid-table, 10th. 9th, next up we move to West Ham United, the mighty Hammers. Come on you Irons, come on you Irons, come on you Irons. I still see West Ham being a force in 10 years time. I think they've had a decent academy, maybe more so back in the day than they do now, but I think for them it's really up to, you know, who is going to come in after Moyes, or if Moyes is going to stay. If Moyes stays, they will forever be above 9th, 10th place. If Moyes leaves, then it's obviously a different story depending on managers. Another big thing is it depends how they sell. They've had the likes of Declan Rice shoot up and do really well now, Jarrod Bowen coming up and doing very, very well now. So it's about when they sell these players, how much do they sell them for, and how much do they get to reinvest into new, younger talent, which is going to take them into that 10-year mark. So for me, I just think 9th for West Ham's a safe bet, so 9 for the Irons. 8th, we've got the Toffees with Everton. I think there's a lot of work to do at Everton right now. They look like they're going to go down, which is really unfortunate. They haven't gone down and been relegated since, I think, 50-51, something like that. So there's a lot of work to be done, but I think a season or two to reset in the Championship. They have got money. They've been one of the league's highest spenders over the last 5-6 years. It's just they're not putting it in the right place. I think once Everton do that and start investing in youngsters that are going to take them forward in the future, if they can keep hold of important players like Calvert-Lewin, I think Everton can be a force like what they used to be under Moyes back in the day. They used to even nearly break into Europe at one point for seasons. But yeah, Everton for me, we're going to go 8th in 10 years' time. They're just a good team. They have a great club atmosphere. You know, they're huge. They've been in the top division since like 50-51, so they just deserve to be there. So yeah, 8th place, Everton. 7th, we've got Spurs, Tottenham Hotspur. No trophy cabinet. But no, seriously, 7th for Spurs. I think Spurs, well, Spurs are going to be a completely different team in 10 years. No Kane, no Son, no Lloris. They already lost like Alderweireld and Vertonghen, Eriksen, staples of that Spurs team over the last 10 years. So it's going to be a brand new Spurs squad. I can't really see anyone there that's going to still be there in 10 years' time. I can see Spurs going on a really, really good run if Conte stays. I think if Conte stays for 3 to 5 seasons, I think they can go on a real good run. I think they will actually go and win silverware, which is mental. But For me, he's going to leave as soon as another job comes along. At the time of recording, there's already talk of him going to PSG when Pochettino leaves. So I just don't think it's going to happen. But yeah, Spurs, big club, good side fan base, brilliant side stadium. You know, they have money as well. So look, I just think 7th's a safe bet. 6th, Chelsea. Oh, Jesus, that one really hurt to say. But anyway, sorry. I just think this whole owner situation at Chelsea, it's not really having too much effect now. It is in ways, but not drastic. We're still going out, we're still performing on the pitch. I think this situation could really hurt Chelsea, especially in 10 years' time. You don't know who's going to come in. You don't know what way they're going to run the club. Are they going to, be a mad spender like Abramovich was at the start, or are they going to go in and be, much more reserved and look for, money back from their investments? And that can be positive or negative, but I think Chelsea at worst will become a little bit of a moneyball club. They've still got one of the best youth academies in Europe, and I think they'll start to moneyball like Brentford do. I think worst comes to worst, they'll be a 6th to 4th place side like what they were before Abramovich came in, and I think they'll maybe sell more of their youngsters than keep for the future, which they always did. But if the money's not there to buy reinforcements, you have that problem, and that's where I think they'll fall. So yeah, as a Chelsea man, does hurt to say, but I think Chelsea on a little bit of decline at the moment. I don't think we're going to see anything great from us for the next few seasons. So Chelsea in 2032, 6th. 5th, Liverpool. Back to where they were before Klopp. No, you were better than that, but don't get me wrong, well, some seasons. But seriously, I think when Klopp leaves Liverpool, it's going to be huge. It's all about who they get in next. The owners aren't great, and that's being polite. They're already looking at future-proofing. You've got Salah probably going to leave soon, coming to his peak. You've got Diaz in, brilliant job. You've got Van Dijk getting on a little bit now, going to be leaving in a season or two. You've got Konate, brilliant, good job. But when it comes to a manager, it's very, very hard to future-proof a manager. Now, a lot of people are going to be going, Steven Gerrard! I know what people are going to be saying, but we don't know how he'll do at Liverpool. The pressure could get to him even if he's a manager for 15, 20 years, going back to the club where he spent his life. But it's just tough for me. I don't know. I just think out of all the, sort of top 4 or 5 teams I'm thinking here, I just think Liverpool have the biggest sort of gap to drop down, and just because their owners are a bit stingy, I just think 5th is a safe bet. So sorry Liverpool fans, estimated it's a guess for 10 years time, please don't kill me in the comment section, but yeah, Liverpool 5th. Champions League time! 4th, Arsenal. I think the Gunners are actually going to peak again in about 5 years. Really, Arteta is really showing why he's such a good manager, or starting to show that he's developing into such a good manager. But I just think that Saka is going to be a well-beater, already is. Smith Rowe, going to be a well-beater, already is. Aaron Ramsdale in goal, he's probably going to be England #1 for the next 10 years. So for me, I just think Arsenal haven't really got that much to worry about. They've got young, promising players. If they do buy, they obviously need to buy well for certain positions. They do need that striker. They could do with another centre-back, in my opinion. They could do with maybe another right-back, in my opinion. There's a few places that they could do with, strengthening and bolstering. But good young coach, good young prospects coming through, which are already a main point of their team. I just think Arsenal are going to be 4th. In 10 years' time. I think that's where they'll hover. I think they'll pick up a few trophies along the way, maybe a few FA Cups, maybe a cheeky Europa League. They might even have some success in the Champions League. Arsenal are a sleeping giant now. It's been a long time since we've seen Arsenal at peak, but I think in 10 years' time, it might be Arsenal's crack at the whip again. So 4th place, Arsenal. 3rd, Manchester United, the Red Devils. 3rd place, I think it's a safe bet. 10 years' time, don't worry. I don't think Harry Maguire is going to be at the squad in 10 years' time. It'll be a much happier place for everyone there at United, I'm sure. But realistically, I think 10 years is more than enough time for United to build on what they have, get in a good manager, and start doing what they used to do again. They're an absolute giant club, United. They've got the biggest fan following in the world, if I'm not wrong. They've got loads of money. They've been nearly one of the highest. Are they the highest spenders in the league? I think they are. I think it'll be about 4 or 5 years before we see them challenging again, but I think in 10 years' time, they're going to be Manchester United again in 10 years' time. So 3rd, Manchester United. 2nd, Manchester City. I think Manchester City are just a fantastically ran club, but they may have a few bad seasons ahead of them. Don't get me wrong, they've got money to burn. They came in and bought the league, a lot of people would say, but no, they've done it well. I think basically Manchester City, it's going to be interesting to see what happens when Pep leaves. I think we might see a few seasons of up and down when Pep decides to go, but for me, second just seems like a fair bet. They've got, you know, Jesus, Foden will only be in his early 30s, just after coming out of his prime. It's City. I just don't see City not being in the top 4 at any point now. We'll see what happens, but for me, 10 years time, Manchester City. First place, drum roll please. Newcastle United. Yes, I've done it. I've said it. I can't believe it. Newcastle United, they're going to win the league. I think they are going to win the league. They've had one window and they've shot up from definitely getting relegated to mid-table club. One window, Eddie Howe. That's all they've needed, and they've shot that way up the table. They've got money to burn now. They've got a huge, amazing fan base which would, you know, literally sell their kids to go watch them play sometimes. They are going to be first place in 10 years time. They've got the money, they've got the fans, they're just going to do it. We're going to see the rise of Newcastle. Again, they're going to be back to where they were. And also, James, I know you like that one. I know you want that one. That's for you, James. I'm looking after the HITC boys, what can I say? But that just about wraps it up. That's the video. A little bit weird, a little bit different, but sure, what can you do? I hope you all really, really enjoyed it. And if you did, let me know down in the comments below. And let me know what video you want to see next. I'm going to start really taking into consideration your suggestions. So anything you put down below, my eyes will see it, I will read it, and I might make it. So, and you know what I'll do? I'll start putting whoever idea it is in the comment section below in the start of the video. So I'll be like, here's today's video, suggested by, bang. That'll be your name. Sick, innit? But if you all did like it, please, 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 please let me know how you're feeling in the comments. Please, please, please hit that like button. The more you hit the like button, the more it helps the video. And I'm not one to do this, but I'm going to do it. Can we hit a like goal? What are we saying? Let me get out my crystal ball one more time. 2,000 likes on this video, and at the start of my next video, I will record the intro going 40 kilometers down a hill on a push bike. Why not? But seriously, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, comment in the comment section down below. I hope you all enjoyed the video greatly as much as I did making it for you guys at home. And anyway, it's been RevBoiii from HITC, I nearly said sport, HITC football. Have a great one. Peace out. Right, that's right.